questions. We can even talk about specific labs. We can talk about whatever it is that you have questions about with regard to LCTI. So take a look at this screen here. So we have 3 chairs, and I want you to imagine for a moment that we are walking into an auditorium and we are watching 3 folks walk across the stage and take a seat in each of these 3 chairs. And I want you to picture a dental assistant sitting down in the first chair, a welder sitting down in the next chair, and a plumber sitting in the 3rd chair. So think about those 3 people. And maybe you pictured some people that look like this, sitting down across the stage in these 3 chairs. But at LCTI, we have a different look and feel for our labs. So an LCTI dental assistant, an LCTI welder, and an LCTI plumber. I'd like you to meet Joshua. He is a William Allen student, and he is also a dental assistant student. I'd like you to meet Miranda. She's a Parkland student. She is also a welding student. And I'd like you to meet Jody Ann Young. She is an LCTI plumbing student who just graduated back in the springtime. Now, just recently, Jody Ann was featured in a segment on CBS Sunday Morning. And we're going to take a look at that segment, and I want you to look for Jody Ann in this next piece.
You have companies out there that will stand in line, literally stand in line, waiting for this interview and have an offer on the job.
Kurt Adam is Assistant Superintendent at Lehigh Career and Technical Institute near Allentown, Pennsylvania. This high school teaches 41 different trades. Graduates leave with a specific skill: plumbing, welding, carpentry, and some leave with jobs that can start at $60,000 a year.
One of your kids told me the perception they have to overcome is that tech is for stupid kids.
Absolutely. And it's been that way forever. I graduated high school in 1979, and that was it. If you were lazy, if you were super good, you went to tech. And that still exists today out there, and we fight that every day.
But do you think the general public understands what you do?
Yeah.
Or the need?
They do when they need a plumber to come fix their toilet at midnight on a Saturday. And he's getting paid $75 an hour to come fix a toilet or come fix your water heater because it broke. That's when they get it. And that's a challenge.
I would rather be working with my hands.
We spoke with a handful of students not long ago. 17-year-old Jody Ann Young's career path surprised even her.
I didn't come to LCTI to be a plumber. I'm a girly girl, hello, as you can see. But when I walked into the plumbing lab, I just got so excited about, the things that plumbers do.
Have you thought about college?
I have. I want to finish the apprenticeship program, take my journeyman's, then take my license to be a master plumber, and then I feel like I should go to college to take business classes and own my own business one day.
And you have a plan as a high school senior.
Yes.
How many of your friends can say that?
70% of graduating high school seniors head off to a 2- or 4-year college, where in addition to their studies, many learn how to build debt. On average, college grads leave school with $37,000 in student loans.
Where else?
It drives Mike Rowe crazy. He's the former host of the TV show, Get Ready, Get Dirty, Dirty Jobs.
You're saying you got nothing against college, but not everyone has to go.
Yeah. Look, I got nothing against cars.
And not seen on TV, but in kitchens and basements around eastern Pennsylvania. Jody Ann Young graduated in May. She's now a junior plumber, building for her future.
So this just aired on October 1st, and I had the pleasure of working with Jody Ann for a couple of years, and just a dynamic individual. She came to LCTI, like she mentioned, very shy, very quiet, But she came into our plumbing lab and just absolutely loved it. It's a place where she was able to grow. She became president of Skills USA, which is one of our organizations. We have lots of professional organizations within our school, within each lab. So there's all these opportunities to get involved and build up your resume, build up your transcript. So for whatever career path that you want, it can lead to employment, it can lead to college, it can lead to military service, whatever your career path is. Another thing about Jody Ann, she actually was just like you. She was actually in a 9th grade classroom when I brought some plumbing and heating students along with several other labs to William Allen to hear about the careers that we have to offer. And we do that here at Parkland as well. And she was sitting in the audience, never considered plumbing and heating until Nikita Pugh, who's another plumbing and heating female student, came and started sharing her story and her experiences and said, you know, she was making $40 an hour working part-time as a high school senior. And Jody Ann heard that, and then she shared her story with the rest of the 9th graders last year and the year before. So it just goes to show you that if you think about different career paths, there is a lot of opportunity out there of things that you might not have ever even considered. Your life can be anything you want it to be. And so what is it that you can do to figure out what you should be doing? So we talk about career pathways, and I know that you've done a lot of work on this already at this point in high school. So career pathways is a point A, where all of you are sitting right now, to a point B, where you're off, happy, successful in a career that you choose. And as educators, we want you to be successful. We want that pathway to be as seamless as possible. And LCTI is just one tool, just one vehicle to get you to that point B. All jobs fall into what we call clusters, and this is not an LCTI thing, this is a Department of Labor thing, but at LCTI we focus on 4 different cluster areas, and they are arts and humanities, business communication technology, industrial and engineering technology, and health and human services. And under each of these clusters, you can see a couple of job titles that folks in these areas would want to pursue. These are just a snapshot. There are literally hundreds of job opportunities in each of these areas. At this point, as 9th graders, 10th graders into high school, it's your job to start narrowing down these options. You need to start figuring out, just by looking at this screen, okay, I'm interested in health and human services, I'd like to learn a little bit more about that, or you know what, that does not sound like something I'd be interested in, I definitely want to pursue a different cluster area. We need you to start doing that at this name of the game. So how do you do that? What kinds of things can you do to help narrow down? I know that all of you have used career cruising. Revisit that. Revisit your results. Take those questions again. Start narrowing down your options. Start researching some of those job opportunities, those things that come up for you that are meant for you. Talk to people in industry. So if you don't know what an engineer does, or you don't know what an electrician does, ask one. Ask them what they do all day. I know that many of you have opportunities to see and listen to various different careers coming up in the next month or so. Definitely take advantage of that. Ask those questions. Just by those conversations, it could help narrow down options for you. Volunteer at different places, get those experiences. I know when I was in high school, I was certain I was going into the medical field. Clearly, I'm not, and that was because I volunteered at a hospital and I realized that that wasn't going to be a fit for me. So by having those experiences, it actually leads you on the path that you need to go on. And then certainly evaluate. Look at the classes that you're taking right now. Say, for example, you're interested in science or math or English. Well, then it kind of makes sense to start looking at careers that would be structured in those different areas. Talk to your counselors, talk to your teachers, talk to your parents. That's all going to help you narrow down your options. So what does a career path look like? Career paths are going to look very different for each individual person. And you might have some little paths along the way, like I did, where I did that volunteering activity and it led me in a different direction. And that's okay. Here's just one example of a career path of somebody who knew what they wanted to do going into healthcare, and they used LCTI as a vehicle to get there. This is Miranda Gunkel. She's a former student. I actually had the pleasure of working with her as well. She has graduated. Occupational clusters is what we were just talking about in number 1. Many of you, hopefully, are already narrowing down and into number 2, where you're narrowing it down to a specific area. Number 3, selecting coursework. So say, for example, you decide to come to LCTI and you're interested in some kind of healthcare. This is an option for you, health occupations and health-related technology. This is where you're going to get a broad sense of various different healthcare careers. You're going to get anatomy, physiology. You're going to get all that background knowledge that you need so that you can determine, okay, maybe I want to go into nursing. Maybe I want to be a surgical technician. Maybe I want to go to medical school, anything like that. Finally, number 4, entering your senior year. So this is something to consider down the road. If seniors are interested in entering a program for health, you're going to be hearing more about this in the next couple of weeks. Folks from LCTI will be coming, and this is for students that are going into their senior year. They might be juniors right now, so this is something to think about in the future, who want to pursue college credit either at Penn State or LTRI-C. They would get job shadowing opportunities at places like Lehigh Valley Health Network, Good Shepherd, St. Luke's, and they're also getting hands-on experience in our labs and getting experience in, like, say, taking blood pressure. Finally, a student interested in this, like Miranda, went into the nursing field, and at any point, number 6 says entering the nursing field, but adding on to education. So that's something to keep in mind with whatever career path you choose. You can always add on to education. We're going to take a look at Miranda's story.
I'm Miranda, and I came here to get a head start in the future. My focus of study is nursing because I like working with people and I want to help people get better. In my lab, we have anatomy and physiology and medical terminology. They just teach you more life lessons along with the regular lessons you're learning. As soon as I get out of here and I graduate next year, I'll have my CNA, which is Certified Nursing Assistant. And if I just look at high school, I'd have to like go to college longer, and then I want to get like specialized in neonatal nursing, which is newborns. That I love working with babies and just children. What I always say is like, would you rather be working at Burger King after you get out of high school, or would you actually be doing something you want to do for the rest of your life? And this is my LCTI.
I'm not sure if anybody had the opportunity to take a look at that lab, but it's pretty sophisticated. I mean, there's several hospital beds in there. That simulated dummy that they showed there that actually has like a pulse. It's really pretty cool. They have a surgical room, they have a physical therapy room, so you're going to get all those aspects of healthcare. So that's just one option for you to consider. So, what are some other career paths? So aside from healthcare, and I did want to mention something too about Miranda, I forgot to mention. So Miranda mentioned that she got her CNA, so Certified Nursing Assistant, and she would come out on presentations with me, and we were coming back from a middle school after doing a career day event, and we were heading to the LCTI van. She took out her phone, and she had multiple job offers on her phone because she had already passed her CNA certificate. So job opportunities before she even graduated from high school. Here are some other really, really good job opportunities to consider. In the black lettering, in the bolded faced lettering, those are the names of the labs that we offer. And underneath that, you'll see job titles that are italicized for somebody who wants to pursue careers in that. That's just one example. So the first is drafting computer-aided design. The next is electromechanical mechatronics. Mechatronics is when they're programming robots to do things. It's used in the medical field, like the Da Vinci arm, for example. It's used in manufacturing. Electronics technology, nanofabrication, that's tiny parts. Programming tiny parts, there's a company locally that makes parts for the iPhone. Supply chain logistics technology, that's all those warehouses that you see around here. We need folks to be able to run those warehouses. Precision machine tool technology, that's where they're taking these precise parts, so precise to a 16th of a human hair, and that's important because these parts are used for very important things. For example, those parts are going into human spines, those parts are going in with NASA. NASA has worked with our school. Our school has created parts for NASA. Pre-engineering, engineering technology, they're getting all kinds of experience in various different areas of engineering, civil, mechanical, electrical. They're going to get all of those different areas. And then welding technology. This is huge. This is expanding in our area. Huge opportunities available if you have any interest in pursuing welding. Down at the bottom of the screen, it says our engineering and technology cluster labs, and it's starred. While they're not listed here as the most in demand for Lehigh Valley and nationwide, I assure you they are in demand. We still need people that can fix heating and air conditioning, for example. Electricians, huge opportunities there. So while they're not listed, you can rest assured there is a demand for those fields as well. So non-traditional occupations, what does that mean? The U.S. Department of Labor defines non-traditional careers as occupations for which individuals from one gender comprise less than 25% of the employees in each such occupation. And at LCTI, the majority of our labs are considered non-traditional occupations, and we support that. Your school supports that. So if you imagine for a moment examples of non-traditional labs and non-traditional students, those 3 chairs at the very beginning, we had our welding student, female, we had our plumbing and heating student, female, and we had our dental assistant, male. Those are examples of non-traditional students. So why would you consider a non-traditional career? Well, it gives you a unique niche. So when you go out into the work world, you want something that's going to set you apart from other job candidates. This could be that thing. We want you to be happy and successful in the careers that you choose, and we support that. The biggie, you can actually earn more money than your traditional counterparts. Research consistently shows this. When you go out into the work world, industry wants these different perspectives and they're willing to pay. Let me give you an example. Jody Ann Young, who we talked about earlier, she went into plumbing and heating. Last fall, she was able to take advantage of something called job shadowing. So she had completed her tasks for her lab. She was doing very well. So she got to go out on a job shadowing opportunity at a local company. Come spring, that company wanted to hire her, wanted her to get graduation requirements. We call this a co-op opportunity, where students are working in industry, making money. At the same time, they're getting those graduation requirements met. She said, I don't think I can take the job. Transportation was a problem for her. That company said, no problem. We're going to pay for your license. We're going to find you rides. We're going to make it work for you. That's because they wanted that different perspective. They wanted students that can do these jobs. They like non-traditional students. So keep that in mind when you're choosing your career path. The very last thing, equal opportunity and reduction of wage gaps. Everybody benefits when folks go into non-traditional career paths. For example, if males go into the field of nursing, everybody's salary raises, so everybody benefits. Just one more thing to consider when you're choosing your own personal career path. So we have a lot of programs, a ton of programs. So we are the largest school of our kind in the state of Pennsylvania and the 3rd largest in the country. The fact that CBS was at our school giving us national coverage goes to show you what a gift you have literally right in your backyard. I'm from upstate New York. We have nothing of its kind, and look at all of the programs that we have to offer. You can see the industrial technology and engineering labs are kind of split in half there because there are so many of them. So if you've been to our school at all, if you've come up for a tour, you know that our facility is pretty large, but we encourage you to take a look at these labs. Various different ways you can do that. Not only will you have an opportunity to come back and have a tour, but also check out our website. Our website has really good information. It has individual lab information, individual videos on each lab. So our school, we talked about, it has 40 plus labs, but understand that the equipment that's used in these labs is top notch. This is not only industry standard, but I can tell you, last year we went to an event on behalf of the Da Vinci Center. We were at the PPL Center, and our electromechanical students came. We had a whole setup of their equipment there, and they were demonstrating the machining of this equipment. And we had folks from industry who just happened to be at this event coming up to us and saying, these kids know how to use this? Like, we can't even get this equipment in our company. So it's pretty impressive that we have these facilities available for you to train on. So you'd be, anywhere you decide to go, you'd have that experience. And we prepare students for whatever their own individual career path is, whether that leads you to college, military, or right into careers. So how does a student enroll? What do you do if you want to come to LCTI? Okay, so a couple of different options for you now that you're already into high school. The first option is still available to you, which is the part-time option. So students will come to LCTI for half of the day in their lab, so approximately 2 hours, 45 minutes in a lab of their choice. The other half of the day would be spent at Parkland getting your core courses done: science, social studies, math, and English. Sometimes students want to come to LCTI for the entire day. And so we have a high school within a high school, and that's called the Academic Center. Students choose to be there. I've never met an unhappy...
Sophomores, M to Z, last names M to Z. Teacher retakes, report to the auditorium lobby with your picture package to return. Thank you.
Students choose to be in the Academic Center. So we always have very happy students in the Academic Center. The classroom sizes are small. They can get that individualized attention. So that's another option to consider. So how that would look is half of the day you would be at LCTI doing your lab. The other half of the day you'd be in our high school. Upstairs you would be taking your core courses: math, science, social studies, and English. And we have a fitness and wellness center as well. Finally, we talked about that senior-only program. That is something for juniors. When you're a junior, you can consider that. And you do not have to attend LCTI prior to coming up as a senior. I will tell you, too, that in any situation, students can come up any year. So even if you're not sure right now, especially if you're a freshman and you're still trying to decide what it is that you want to do, understand that this is an opportunity for you even as a senior. However, I will preface that with, the more you are at our school, the longer you are at our school, the more benefits that you will receive in terms of certifications, in terms of job shadowing, in terms of co-op opportunities. So if you have an idea of what you want to do, this is how it would work. Come like January timing, when you need to sit down and do your coursework for next year and figure out what classes you're taking, you would get an application for LCTI, complete it, and you're going to number the labs in number order of which you would like to explore. Number 1 being your number 1 choice, and you're going to choose 6. From those 6, when you come up in the fall, you would be what is called a rotation student. Meaning, of those 6 labs, you will get 3 of those labs that you will explore for approximately 9 to 10 days each. So you might get choice number 1, and we take pride in giving their students their number 1 choice to explore for 9 to 10 days. Then you might get choice 3, and you might get choice 5. After you explore those 3 labs for a couple of weeks at the beginning of the school year, you will choose what's called your specialty. And that's the lab that you're going to stick with for the rest of the school year and likely through the rest of high school. Now, we always tell students you want to do your best in all of those rotations so that you can be assured to get the spots that you want. Our students actually just completed their specialties. They're in their specialties now. And I will tell you that this is not an easy undertaking, especially for a school of our size, and not all career and tech schools do this. But we do this for you. 94% of our students year to year will tell us those experiences will definitely determine, yes, I want to go into this career path, or no. You're going to know after a couple of days. If you're in plumbing and heating, for example, you're going to be brazing. You're going to be brazing like day one. So you're going to get a sense of, is this going to be a fit for me or not? So some more things to learn about LCTI. And we're going to actually see a quick overview video. It's a new video, so I'm sure that you haven't seen it yet. But we have college credit opportunities. So if college is on the radar for you, if that's something you think you want to pursue, our programs have certifications built into it and college credit opportunities built into it. You want to talk to the instructors about those opportunities. We call that articulation credit, which means free college credit. We also have relationships with LCTI and Bloomsburg. LCTI, for example, has a brand new scholarship called the Scheller-Woodman Scholarship, and it is unlimited to the number of students that they give it to. You have to have a B average upon graduation, and that's a 3.0, and then you are eligible for 75% off at LCTI. This is huge. So the reps from LCTI were at our school talking to all the seniors. Imagine having 75% paid for by just being a good student at our school. Something to think about. They also have an agreement with Bloomsburg University. It's called a 2+2+2 program. So come to LCTI the last 2 years of high school. You're passing, you're doing well. You seamlessly transfer to LCTI in any one of those majors. You're doing well, seamlessly transfer to Bloomsburg. The courses for Bloomsburg can actually be taken right at LCTI. This kind of a pathway saves time and it saves money, and you come out with a 4-year college degree. Again, just another option if you're thinking about college. We have that seniors only program we talked about. A couple of other things. We have ESL services. We provide a new student orientation, and we do personal tours as well. So if you, for whatever reason, can't come up to LCTI during the school day or whenever, or in the evening for our open house that we'll talk about, sign up for a personal tour. Have your folks contact our guidance department. They can come and take a look at any lab as well. Our open house is on Thursday, November 2nd from 6 to 8 p.m. It is open to the public. There will literally be thousands of people there. Our bakery will be open, so you can stop by and get some baked goods, but all of the labs will be open. They'll have demonstrations. Our instructors will be on hand. You can ask them any questions that you wish. This is our new overview video of LCTI.
We're the Career Technology Center. We're the ones that provide the students the training, the background, and the knowledge that they need to go out there and be successful.
High skill, high wage, high demand occupations. And our high school students are working on equipment that is very much like what they're going to be using in industry. It replicates all the skills and all of the tasks that they need to know when they get to that level.
Our goal is to have the best, the most modern, the most up-to-date equipment, again, to prepare our kids to go out there for jobs and post-secondary. The local districts have nothing close to what we have here.
So companies, knowing that they have to build a solid pipeline, are coming in when the students are in 10th grade and they're watching to see which students they're going to want to come into their companies to work. So by their junior year, students are being recruited to come into summer internship programs and then for co-op in their senior year. And that usually leads into either full employment. Some students choose to go on to college. Some students go right to work and utilize the company's tuition reimbursement programs.
Every program within our facility has some type of certification that when they walk out the door and they get an employer, they can say, okay, here's my certification, here's what I earned at LCTI. Business and industry comes in and they're an integral facet of a lot of the programs in preparing them for jobs, interviewing, resume writing, job keeping skills, how to dress for an interview, what to say for an interview. So employers know that the students are ready to go out and join the workforce.
Our kids are really getting the best of the best to be able to be prepared to go out into the workforce.
I also want to show you a video of what it's like for a student to go into a job shadowing or a co-op opportunity, because that's definitely something at this stage that you would be able to take advantage of. Let's see.
Good counselors, good professors that are teaching the students the fundamentals, and then, you know, the key is they have to come to industry to learn the rest of the story and become proficient.
My name is Daniel Cross. I'm a senior in the electromechanical engineering program at LCTI. I chose my program because I was always overly excited about electronics and mechanics of any kind. The experience has showed me a lot of machinery that I would never even imagine, or the techniques with some of the machinery that I never even thought of.
The internship program is really, really valuable in that we've been able to provide the students varying different disciplines with companies, seeing what each company is like. We get to evaluate them on work ethic, do they show up on time, what's their quality of their work, you know, their enthusiasm. We've actually hired 3 from LCTI recently.
After high school, I plan to go to LCTI in their electrical technology engineering program. My career goals is to someday get into more of the PLC technologies. It's so fascinating that you can just control an entire machine from a mile away if you really wanted to. I'd recommend LCTI because it gives you opportunities you wouldn't have otherwise. There's a lot of things that you can do there that you definitely wouldn't be able to do if you didn't go there.
LCTI
So I want you to keep in mind that LCTI is an option for you now or down the road. And if nothing else today, I hope that this really starts you thinking about what career paths will make sense for you, and to consider LCTI as an option to get to your career path. Thank you so much today, but I really want to open it up to the floor now. Any individual questions? Any individual lab questions? Questions about the school, enrollment, anything at all? Yes? In the medical field, practicing with anesthesia and such? Generally, no. It's going to be very broad-based when you first get into the program. So a level 1 student will learn there's going to be bed-making skills, how to properly use hygiene, washing the hands properly. Like, for example, I walked into the lab one day, and they were wearing gloves and using chocolate syrup to mimic blood. So they're going to be learning those kinds of skills when they first come up. It gets more and more sophisticated and more in depth as you go. So eventually you would learn how to take blood pressure. You would be certified in CPR, certified in first aid. So those are the kinds of things eventually, so that when you get into college, then you would be working on some of those more in-depth topics. Yes?
Do you go through rotations and you just decide you didn't really like any of them? LCTI?
Yeah. So so the question was, if you were unhappy with your rotations, what happens? Are you stuck there? No, but you do have to stick it out through the semester break, because for course purposes and enrollment, making sure we have a spot for you back here at Parkland, you would have to stick it out. Usually what winds up happening for students, like I mentioned during that rotation period, very often within a couple of days, it's going to be very apparent to you which one is going to be a fit for you. So once you get in there and once you take your top choice of your specialty, usually kids are going to be fairly happy in their labs and at least able to stick it out through the semester break and see what they think. But no, you're not tied in. You can definitely come back to Parkland if it's not a fit for you. Yes? Uh-huh. Yes. I can explain that a little bit more. So We call that the 2+2+2 program. So how you could achieve a 4-year degree, a 4-year college degree coming to LCTI as a pathway. The last 2 years of high school, you would come to our program, you're passing, you're doing well in any one of our labs, you would seamlessly transfer to LTRI-C. LTRI-C, you complete your coursework. It's almost all of their majors, and you could ask for a list from any one of our instructors. They would have the list. You would choose your associate's degree and stay there for the 2 years, complete that program, and it would seamlessly transfer to Bloomsburg. The courses at Bloomsburg can actually be taken right at LTRI-C. There's an actual Bloomsburg representative that is housed right in LTRI-C to talk to students about these programs. So the student then would complete their bachelor's degree, a bachelor's of applied science. Because the reason this whole program was set up is because industry is saying to us, we need people that can do these skills. It's great to have a management background, but if you don't understand the skill set or what you're managing, it really does a disservice for the company. So the companies want you to be able to have those skill sets, plus they want you to be able to manage facilities as well. So that program, that pathway, gives you the best of both worlds. Other questions? Anything? All right, I'm just going to I'm just kind of curious about cluster areas. So for students who are, and this is for purposes of taking a look at videos, we have 4 different cluster areas. Raise your hand if you're interested in arts and humanities. Anything arts and humanities? Okay, got a couple of folks there. Okay, how about health and human services? Okay, got quite a few in that one. Industrial and engineering technology. Okay, and business communication technology. Not as many in that one, a couple of those in that one. All right, great. So I'm going to take a look at the different videos that we have for those. Looked like there was a lot of the health and human services.
Which one is the child care services in?
I can show that. That's health and human services. Yeah. I know we're kind of getting low. About 5 minutes. Yep. Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay, folks, we're going to take a look at the health and human services. So this is where a lot of labs are housed: commercial baking, cosmetology. If you're interested in cosmetology, you need to get in sooner than later because you need to sit for so many hours before you take your board exams. Culinary arts, dental technology, early care. There's been a request to take a look at that video, so we're going to take a look at that. Emerging health. Floral is now part of our landscaping program. Health occupations we talked about, and law enforcement. That's actually now called criminal justice. Very broad-based program for folks interested in going into, let's say, paramedic work or police work or lawyer or paralegal, that kind of thing. We're going to take a look at early care and education of young children.
Hi, my name is Janice Visco, and welcome to the Early Care and Education Lab. Working with small children is a privilege. We have the opportunity to take part in their growth and development. In this program, our students learn about child development and the planning of 8 appropriate activities for young children. We have a beautiful new child care center with state-of-the-art equipment and a wonderful staff to work with.
Working in the Child Care Center is a lot of fun. Hi, I'm Heather Jones and welcome to World of Imagination. I am the director of the program and also a graduate from LCTI. The program gave me the skills to help run a child care center.
Many of our students earn their CDA certification, and those who continue their education go on to work as group supervisors, center directors, elementary school teachers, special ed teachers.
I started this program 2 years ago because I love children. I learned about child development, how to make a lesson plan, and how to keep children having fun.
If you love children and want to learn more about our program, please visit us at lcti.org.
All of our labs are on our website, so you can certainly go there for more information. I want to turn this over to Ms. McDonald now so she can share some more information with you, but I want to thank you so much for your time, your attention, and I'm going to stick around for a little bit after, so if people have individual questions, I'd be happy to answer those. Thank you.